On the field for the first race, one called Josh, owned by Robert Garnett with Randy Tharps. 2 Moonlight Amber, owned by Jackie Tigar with Robert Scott. 3 More for the Money, owned by Carol Melton with David Myers. 4 is Sleigh Run Magic, owned by Ralph Sturr Jr. with Chip Noble. The 5 is Tully Sweetie, owned by Dale Sweet with Barb Lewis. 6 is Precious Linda, owned by McNamee and Jolliffe, Dave Hawk. 7 Future Fashion is owned by Marmick Incorporated, Dean Collins. 8 is Bel Capedge, owned by Kenneth Briggs with Terry Groves. The 9 is Southern Mystique, owned by James Bianchi with Sandy Beatty. And for the second tier, the 10, Breath of Sam, owned by David Franklin with Jeff Bout. Pacers straighten away in the backstretch for tonight's first race at Scioto Downs. They're lining up, and there they go. And they're off. Cold Joss is out fast from between horses Slate Run Magic with Precious Linda, the favorite from 3 wide, is up after the lead. 2.5 back to Breath the Sam racing in 4th, followed by Tully Sweetie 5th. To the inside is Moonlight Amber, followed by Future Fashion, who grabs a seat. 2 lengths farther back to More for the Money, and then it's another 2 back to Bel Capedge and Southern Mystique. Driving to the opening quarter, Dave Hawk hustles Precious Linda to the top, and it's Precious Linda who takes over as they pass the opening quarter in 28 4/5. As they drive past the stands for the first time, 6-5 favorite, Precious Linda is leading the way. Precious Linda, 1.5 lengths. Cold Joss is 2nd. Slate Run Magic is 3rd. Next up, it's Breath of Sam 4th. And then 2 lengths back to Moonlight Amber. Next in line is Tully Sweetie, followed by Future Fashion. More for the Money is off the rail. Now tips back to the inside. Has cover if he wants it from Future Fashion. Followed at the inside by Bel Capedge and Southern Mystique. Around the turn of the half-mile pole, it's Precious Linda on top by 2 lengths. Cold Joss in the pocket 2nd. Halftime in 1 minute and 3/5. Heading up the backside, Precious Linda, Cold Joss 2nd. There goes Breath of Sam flying up on the outside 3rd. And Jeff Found Watts the top. Back to 4th, it's Slate Run Magic. Future Fashion is now underway. Moonlight Amber is off the cones with about 5 to make up. Then it's Tully Sweetie, who was a bit rough-gated there. Towards the inside is More for the Money. Then it's 2 lengths farther back to Bel Capedge, and Southern Mystique is off stride at the tail end. They're on their way to 3/4. Precious Linda on top in 1:31 2. Around the turn to the top of the stretch, Precious Linda shows the way. Breath of Sam is 2nd. Future Fashion back to the inside. Now angles to the outside 3rd, forcing Moonlight Amber out 3 wide as they make their way into the stretch. Precious Linda, the favorite, starts to get away from them now. It's Precious Linda by 3 lengths. Future Fashion driving into 2nd. Late close from Slate Run Magic and Moonlight Amber. But Precious Linda pacing strong to the wire. Precious Linda takes the opener. Future Fashion 2nd. Tight for 3rd between Slate Run Magic and Moonlight Amber. 2:01 3 for the mile. 3-year-old daughter of Tucson Hanover from Precious to Me by Keystone Ore. Owned by Mark McNamee and Gerald Jolliffe of Richwood, Ohio. Dave Hawk in the bike for trainer Mervyn Stover. Precious Linda, 2:01 3, 6.7 exacta, $39.80. The try 6.72. Returns $122.40. Here they are for the second. 1 Tintype, owned by Melby Ober with Rick Dingledon. 2 Chicory K, under lease to Jim Florio with Jimmy Wisman. Number 3 is Party Pam, owned by Asher Racing Stable, Mike Wilder. 4, Baby Likes to Rock, scoring ahead there. Carl Seymour, the owner. Randy Tharps in the bike. 5, Miss Predator, is owned by Robert Rhodes with Jack Daly. 6 is Jingle Jangle, owned by Raymond Brandt with Greg Luther. Number 7 is Farmtown Girl, owned by Thomas Mann with Jeff Fout. The 8, Emma, is owned by Smith & Smith, Dave Hawk. Number 9, Nuke Skylark, owned by Ron Barker with Sean Barker. And the 10 is Fatal Kisses, owned by Steve Christ with Brad Hanners. That's your field. Post time's in 7 minutes. Full field of 10 mare pacers lining up behind the starting gate, straightening away in the backstretch and approaching the start. There they go. They're off. Party Pam is out fast to the lead with Farmtown Girl from the outside. Along the inside, Tin Type is up close, along with Jingle Jangle. Around the far turn the first time they go, and it's Party Pam on the inside, but Farmtown Girl goes on with it. Farmtown Girl and Fout have the lead a length and a half. Party Pam is second, 2.5. Tin Type is third. Jingle Jangle is fourth, followed by Chicory K and Unhurried fifth. Next up, it's Fatal Kisses, followed by Baby Likes to Rock, Miss Predator, Emma, and bringing up the rear is Nuke Skylark. They passed the opening quarter in 28-1, and Parade passed the stands for the first time with Farmtown Girl showing the way. Farmtown Girl, the Lexington shipper, is on top by 2 lengths. Party Pam a snug second now with Tin Type third. 2 more back to Jingle Jangle fourth. Same gap back to Chicory K, who angles to the outside, giving cover to Fatal Kisses. Next up, it's Baby Likes to Rock, followed by Nuke Skylark, who's underway, and Miss Predator and Emma is now the trailer. Around the turn of the half-mile pole, it's Farmtown Girl. Farmtown Girl on top of Party Pam in 58-4. Heading up the backside, Farmtown Girl has the lead. It's a tight length. Party Pam in the pocket second. Chicory K continues to move up on the outside third. Tin Type along the inside is fourth. Second over Fatal Kisses from fifth with 3 to make up. Jingle Jangle is starting to gap at the inside, racing in sixth. Now she's overtaken by Nuke Skylark alongside. Next up, it's Miss Predator underway. Baby Likes to Rock, and Emma's out of the trailing position but still has about 8 to go. As they move around the far turn, it's Farmtown Girl on top now by 2 lengths. Party Pam 3 deep is Fatal Kisses in 129-2, and they move to the top of the stretch. Farmtown Girl has the lead, 3 parts of a length. In the center, here comes Fatal Kisses moving into second. Party Pam still right there in third, followed by Chicory K, who's backing up there as they make their way into the stretch. It's Fatal Kisses who takes up the lead and opens up by 3 lengths. Farmtown Girl is second. Party Pam, the late move. Chicory K's all done, but this is Fatal Kisses. Fatal Kisses drawing away Party Pam. The 8-horse Emma shot through for the show dog. Back in the winner's circle, Fatal Kisses in her first 1999 attempt. She comes up on top, 159-1. 5-year-old bay mare by Die Laughing from Dallier by Call for Rain. Owned by trainer Steve Christ of Hilliard, Ohio. Brad Hanners in the bike for this win. Fatal Kisses, the winner of tonight's second race. 10-3 exact, $86.20. Try 10-3-8, $1,591.60. 7-1. Upcoming third race here at Scioto, owned by Dorothy Christie with Jeff Fountas with Ron Steck. 4, Willie Ernalot is owned by Lowell Prickett with Tom Prickett of the bike. 5 is Sunbeam Sam, owned by Reed Long and Long, Brad Hanners. Number 6 is Pay Me Big Guy, owned by Mary Ellen Dillon with Don Feaster. The 7 is Baron Max, owned by the Homestock Farm with Dave Hawk. Number 8 is Kelly Tomar, owned by Atlee and Green. Chip Noble's in the bike. And for the outside is the 9, Delvin Criswell's Crosslock and Kevin Sizer. That's your field. Post time is in 6 minutes. They're in the backstretch and approaching the start. And they're off. Move-In is out fast for the lead as expected. From alongside, there's Noble Trap along with Willie Ernalot. Baron Max, Krauslock from the extreme outside, but Movin gets a very easy early lead as they race around the far turn, and Movin and Jeff Fout open up 2 lengths on Noble Trap second, Krauslock and Sizer driving up from third. Willie Ernalot is fourth by 2. Then it's Baron Max, followed by Noble Design, 2.5 to Pay Me Big Guy, Sunbeam Sam, and Kelly Tomar is the trailer. They're past the opening quarter in 28 2/5, passing the stands for the first time. Movin on the inside, now being overtaken by Krauslock, and Krauslock takes over the top spot, opens up by 2. Movin is back to second, 2.5 back to Noble Trap third, then it's Willie Ernalot fourth. Noble Design is underway from fifth, then it's 2 more lengths back to Baron Max. Pay Me Big Guy is next up, then a gap of 5 back to Kelly Tomar and Sunbeam Sam, who got into some trouble there, and they're well off the pace. Around the turn of the half-mile pole, it's Krauslock showing the way. Krauslock from Movin through a half in 58-1, 29-4 in the second split for Krauslock. And Krauslock, the 7-2 second choice, leads him up the backside. Now that's Noble Design moving into second as Movin is back to third along the inside and gapping at the rail. Second over trip for Baron Max, just 3 off the pace in fourth. Noble Trap along the inside is fifth. Outside is Pay Me Big Guy under the whip in sixth. And then it's Willie Ernalot who saves ground at the rail seventh. 3 lengths farther back to Kelly Tomar, and then about 10 back to Sunbeam Sam. 1:28 2 the 3/4 time. They move to the top of the stretch. It's Krauslock on top. Noble Style struggling to get to the leader's flank in second. Movin is not going very well, is retreating at the cones in third. On the outside, Baron Max will have to tip out 3 wide as Sizer starts to get after Krauslock, leads him down with a 1-length lead. Here's Noble Style, who's now in gear on the outside second, and Baron Max tips to the inside. Noble Style takes a short lead. Krauslock fighting back. Noble Style, Krauslock, and Baron Max third. And it's official. Back in the winner's circle, 3 Noble Style. 3-year-old bay colt by Noble and Sam from Sterling Style by Set the Style, owned by Alonzo Willis of Southgate, Michigan. Trained by Tony Ann Boroff-Hayner, Ron Steck in the bike. Third time's a charm for Noble Style, 158 3. 3-9 exacto, 143 even, and the super, 3976. 2,434.60. Blue Shoes, owned by Donna Jean Anderson with Brian Weaver. 2 is Gimme Georgia, owned by Steiner and Mayer, is Dave Hawk. Number 3 is Over's Technique, owned by Miller and Besco, Willard Miller. 4 Recommended is owned by Hare and Price, Mike Price in the bike. Number 5 is the Homestock Farms C. Darwin and Jamie Dunlap. 6 Albergo is owned by Lloyd Yoder with Jim Shelton. Number 7, Our Little Amlo, owned by the Bonjo Farm Incorporated, Joe Pavia Jr. Number 8 is Miss Sensation, owned by Richard Elwood with Brad Hanners. The 9, Self-Imposed, owned, trained, and driven by Al Gobble. And the 10 is I'm Sticking to It, owned by Michael Ukrin with Mike Wilder. That's your field, and post time's in 7 minutes. There they go. And they're off. It's all Burgo out fast for the lead. Off stride went C. Darwin. Off stride taken up there, Our Little Amlo. Racing around the far turn, it's all Burgo grabs the lead, opens up by 2. The mare Gimme Georgia tightening in second. Alongside, that Self-Imposed racing in third. Followed at the inside, I'm Sticking to It is fourth by 2. Next up, it's Over's Technique, 2.5 back to New Blue Shoes, followed by Recommended. And then it's 2 more to Miss Sensation, Our Little Amlo. And far back out of it is C. Darwin as they pass the opening quarter, 28 2, fairly brisk. Opening quarter thrown up by All Burgo. Jim Schulten, they show the way 3 parts of a length. Pressure on the outside from Self-Imposed along with Gimme Georgia, who's in the pocket third. Next up, it's I'm Sticking to It, fourth by 3. Then it's Over's Technique, 2 farther back to New Blue Shoes, Recommended. And then it's Miss Sensation. Our Little Amlo is getting underway, and far back to C. Darwin, who's trotting, but about a 16th behind. They round the turn of the half-mile pole, and All Burgo takes them there in 58-1. It's All Burgo. All Burgo, 72 second choice, has the lead up the backside, has it by 2 lengths. Gimme Georgia is tracking the leader in second. I'm sticking to it third. Self-Imposed starting to show signs of wear and tear, is backing up on the outside fourth. Over's Technique comes through along the inside fifth. 3 wide Recommended from sixth. That forces Are the Lamlo out 4 wide from seventh, and that one's got about 8 to make up, followed up by New Blue Shoes and Miss Sensation. 3/4 on the board in 1:29. They move to the top of the stretch. It's all Burgo on the inside, but here comes Dave Hawk and Gimme Georgia out of the pocket, and Gimme Georgia goes right on by All Burgo off stride. I'm sticking to it now into second. Over's Technique is third. 5 lengths farther back to New Blue Shoes as they make their way into the stretch. This is all Gimme Georgia. Gimme Georgia is going to defeat the boys tonight on top by 5. Over's Technique is trying to close in. I'm sticking to it as third. Gimme Georgia on top by 3. Over's Technique, and I'm sticking to it third. Circle, third win in 5 starts this season for the 5-year-old Chestnut mare by Gimme a Hug. The Georgia Skipper mare, Skipper Walt mare, Georgia Skipper, owned by Sherry Starner. Richard Mares of Wooster, Ohio. Sherry Starner, the trainer. Dave Hawk in the bike. Gimme Georgia, 159 and 1. Good for another new lifetime mark. Exacted 2-3, came back 159.80 in the try. 2-3-10, 7,198.60. For tonight's first division of the Tompkins Gears Stake. Here's the field. Number 1 is One of These Days Art, owned by Charles W. Miller with Ken Holliday. Number 2 is the Kamaza Farms Stealth and Joe Pavia Jr. 3 is Single Tree Run, owned by Cynthia and Ronald Anderson. Cynthia Anderson's in the bike. Number 4 is Old Brooklyn, owned by Lawrence Dasek with Bill Irvin. 5, A New Life, is owned by Walls, Dirksey, and Bedurka with Jeff Vout. 6 is Falcon's Pharaoh, owned by Charmin Larashuta and Larry Tinch with Dave Hawk. From the outside, the 7, Caviar Boston, is owned by Judith and Clarence Chafee Jr. with Del S. Miller. And that's your field. Post times in 7 minutes. Freshmen approaching the start. They're off and pacing. It's A New Life out fast for the lead from the inside. One of These Days Art from alongside Single Tree Run. And as they race around the far turn the first time, it's Jeff Vout and A New Life. They grab command and open up by 2. Single Tree Run settling into second, followed by One of These Days Art third. Falcon's Pharaoh is fourth by 2. Next up, it's Stealth, followed 2 lengths farther back by Old Brooklyn, and Caviar Boston brings up the tail end as they pass the opening quarter, 28 2/5. Passing the stands for the first time, it's A New Life on the inside, now being joined on the outside by Falcon's Pharaoh. And Falcon's Pharaoh and Dave Hawk take over command under the wire with 5/8 remaining. A New Life is back racing in second by 2. Single Tree Run along the inside is racing in third. Outside there is One of These Days Art, who's retreating first up from fourth. And then towards the inside, it's Stealth, followed by Old Brooklyn and Caviar Boston. One of These Days Art, not going very well, is now last of the 7. Halftime is 57-3. That's a pretty brisk half put up by Falcon's Pharaoh, and Hawk, they show the way a length and a half. A New Life, snug in the pocket second. Single Tree Run being hustled up on the outside from third. Along the inside, that's Old Brooklyn fourth. Stealth is second over fifth. Then 2 farther back to Caviar Boston, and 3 more back to One of These Days Art. They make their way into the far turn, and it is Falcon's Pharaoh showing the way. Falcon's Pharaoh in 1:28-3. Falcon's Pharaoh leads him to the top of the stretch by 2 lengths. A New Life is second. Old Brooklyn comes through third. Single Tree Run has chucked it in fourth. Stealth is 3 wide but has 8 to go. And it's going to be tough to catch Falcon's Pharaoh from here. Falcon's Pharaoh's on top. A New Life is out of the pocket second with Old Brooklyn third. Falcon's Pharaoh on top. A New Life driving on the outside. Old Brooklyn the inside. Falcon's Pharaoh, a game winner. Tight for second. Maybe Old Brooklyn over A New Life. 158 for the first division. Lifetime win in his first lifetime start. This is Falcon's Pharaoh. 2-year-old bay gelding by Falcon's Future from Fancy Fitch by Ann Fitch. Owned by Charmin Larashuta and Larry Tinch of Ohio. Larry Tinch, the trainer, Dave Hawk in the bike. 1:58. Time for the mile, Falcon's Pharaoh. Tonight's Tompkins Gear Stakes are sponsored by Midland Acres, one of Ohio's leading breeding farms. Proud to sponsor the Tompkins Gear Stakes. Be sure to join them at Midland Acres for their annual yearling show day on Sunday of Labor Day weekend. In the winner's circle presenting the trophy, Dr. John Mossbarger, Kyle Mossbarger, and Jill Mossbarger. Number 2 is Wheat Collector, owned by Lana Sturgill Pollock and Sarah Rader, Ken Holliday. 3 is the Walgrove Stables, Hurricane Sam and Mike Wilder. Number 4 is RW's Out of Towner, owned by Dirk Steinman with Sandy Beatty. The 5 is Napoleon Sabra, owned by Voorhees and Wilker, Kevin Sizer. Number 6 is Mike Donovan, owned by Arledge and Rhodes Jr., Brad Hanners. 7 is Tucson's Bad Boy, owned by Larry and Deborah Sears with Del S. Miller. The 8 is Gerald's Falcon, owned by Donald Lane with Dave Hawk. From the outside is the 9 Flashy Scooter, owned by Burkholder Enterprise Incorporated with Jeff Smith. And the 10 is Mac McNish, owned by Paver, and Paver with Don Feaster. That's your field, 6 minutes until post time. Pacers straighten away in the backstretch, and they're approaching the start. And they're off. Bean Soup is out fast on the inside from the center. That's Napoleon Sabra who leaves well. Between horses, RW's Out of Towner, along with Wheat Collector, gets away racing in 4th. Hurricane Sam settles into 5th, followed by Mac McNish racing in 6th. Then it's 2 lengths further back to Mike Donovan. To the inside is Gerald's Falcon. Alongside there, going on a miscue but grabbing stride, was Tucson's Bad Boy with Flashy Scooter. Driving to the top of the stretch for the first time, and Kevin Sizer and Napoleon Sabra on the lead once again. They're through a quarter in 28 seconds flat. Passing the stands for the first time, it's Napoleon Sabra, length and a half. RW's Out of Towner is racing second. Wheat Collector third. Hurricane Sam is racing in 4th. And next up, it's Mac McNish 5th. Then it's 2 more to Mike Donovan, followed to the inside by Gerald's Falcon, who now angles to the outside. That gives cover to the 9 Flashy Scooter. Then 3 more to Tucson's Bad Boy, who isn't looking pretty good right now. And way out of it is Bean Soup. Around the 10.5 mile pole, leading the way, it's Napoleon Sabra. Napoleon Sabra, RW's Out of Towner in the pocket. There's Hurricane Sam rolling up with his bid from 3rd in 58 and 4. Heading up the backstretch, Napoleon Sabra continues on the engine, has the lead a length and a half. RW's Out of Towner a snug 2nd in the pocket. On the outside, Hurricane Sam is 3rd, now getting some urging there. Along the inside, Wheat Collector 4th, Mac McNish 2nd over 5th, and Don Feaster is deciding whether or not to go 3 wide, and there he goes. 2 lengths further back to Gerald's Falcon, followed by Flashy Scooter inside Mike Donovan. 1:28 and 4 as they move to the top of the stretch. It's Napoleon Sabra with the lead a length and a half. RW's Out of Towner has been right there with the leader in 2nd. Between horses, Hurricane Sam a struggling 3rd. Mac McNish is way out wide from 4th as they make their way into the stretch. It's Napoleon Sabra on top 2.5, pulling away from RW's Out of Towner. Wheat Collector driving up the inside. Hurricane Sam and Mac McNish are all done, but Napoleon Sabra gets the job done tonight. Tight for 2nd. Looked like maybe the 4 RW's Out of Towner holding off the 3, Hurricane Sam. Out of the Falcon Almahurst mare, Prize Sabra, owned by Alan Voorhees and Thomas Wilker of Salina, Ohio. Alan Voorhees, the trainer, Kevin Sizer in the bike. 1:58 and 2. Good for a new lifetime mark. Napoleon Sabra. In the Winner's Circle Trophy being presented by the Ohio Association of Election Officials, and joining us tonight, Albert Powell Jr. and Dana Walsh from the Office of the Secretary of State. We welcome them to Scioto Downs. And it's official. .54 exacta, 1:20.40. Here they are for the 7th. Number 1 is I Got a Notion, owned by Tremonti and Mullinax with Mike Wilder. 2 RK's Prime Time is owned by Karen and Richard Graham with Don Feaster. Number 3 is Happy Christian, owned by Gary Bobo and the Star Country Stable with Art Jones. Number 4 is Sharp Tie, owned by Andrew Price with Del S. Miller. Number 5 is Carbo Trap, owned by Michael Fisher with Paul Ungashik. 6 is Famous Flyer, owned by Jerome Grogan with Randy Tharps. Number 7 is Rocky Raccoon, owned by David Franklin with Jeff Fout. Number 8, Quicksilver Sam, owned by Patricia Smith with Bill Irvin. The 9 is Doodle Finkel, owned by Jerry Bookmeyer with Ryan Stahl. And the 10 is J.R. Ritchie, owned by Ruth Kelly Barnes with John C. Barnes. 6 minutes until post time. And there they go. They're often pacing from the center. It's Carbo Trap out fast. Famous Flyer from alongside. Quicksilver Sam on the far outside is off stride. Around the far turn the first time, Carbo Trap grabs the early lead. Famous Flyer driving up on the outside second with Doodle Finkel third. Rocky Raccoon is racing away well there in fourth towards the inside. Then it's 2 lengths farther back to RK's Prime Time. I Got a Notion. J.R. Ritchie is tightening in, then a gap of 5 back to Happy Christian, Sharp Tie, and Quicksilver Sam is back pacing 28 seconds flat for the opening quarter. They pass the stands for the first time. It's Randy Tharps and Famous Flyer on the lead. Doodle Finkel and Ryan Stahl are up after that leader, though. They're on even terms under the wire with 5/8 to go. 2.5 back, Carbo Trap, getting some early urging in third. Then it's another 2.5 back to Rocky Raccoon fourth. I Got a Notion overtakes RK's Prime Time. And then it's 2 more lengths to J.R. Ritchie as they round the turn past the half-mile pole in 56 and 3. Famous Flyer. Famous Flyer has the lead. Doodle Finkel very tight there. Nose to helmet of the pocket second. Carbo Trap up to the lead from third again. And then on the outside, it's Rocky Raccoon racing in fourth. To the inside, I Got a Notion. 3 wide. Here comes J.R. Ritchie. And then it's 2.5 lengths farther back to RK's Prime Time, who's not going very well. Outside is Happy Christian. 2 more to Sharp Tie and 4 more to Quicksilver Sam. Famous Flyer, trying to take them all the way, is on top at the 3/4 in 1:27 and 3. Very moderate 31 seconds on the third split for Famous Flyer has the lead. Doodle Finkel is saving ground at the inside second. Carbo Trap being hustled up from third. Coming up empty, though. I Got a Notion is 3 wide on the far outside as they make their way into the stretch. It's Famous Flyer on top by 2. Doodle Finkel's out for the stretch drive, way out wide. Here comes I Got a Notion, but they'll have a tough time catching Famous Flyer tonight. Famous Flyer, Doodle Finkel, and I Got a Notion third. Famous Flyer back in the winner's circle. 3-year-old Chestnut Colt by Falcon Almars from Looking Fine by Albatross, owned by Jerome Grogan of Cincinnati. Calvin Wright, the trainer. Randy Tharps in the bike. First win for Famous Flyer, 158-1. Helping to make the blanket presentation of the winner's circle, Central Ohio Miami University's Alumni Club joining us for a night at the races, and we welcome them all to Scioto Downs. Pacers on parade for the second division of the Tompkins Gear Stake. 2-year-old colts. Number 1, Best Guess. Part of the entry owned by Amy Miller of Wauseon, Ohio with Ken Holliday. 1A is Exact Change owned by Charles Miller with Brad Hanners. Number 2 is Free Marketplace owned by Ronald Bates with Jamie Dunlap. There's the favorite, the 3 Arapahoe Hanover owned by Sylvia Burke and Ronald J. Burke with Doug Snyder. Number 4 is Speak owned by Fred Schroeder Jr. and Robert Schnoot with Charles Conrad. Number 5, Pickup Artist, is owned by Ed Mullinax with Dave Honk. Number 6, Weekend Act, is owned by Batiata and Barry, Joe Pavia Jr. And number 7 is Darren, owned by Robert Slowey with Jeff Fout in the bike. 7 minutes until post time. Freshman Cole Pacers getting set to go in tonight's second division of the Tompkins Gear Stake. Straightening away in the backstretch and approaching the start. And they're off. Best Guess is out fast for the lead, along with the favorite Arapahoe Hanover towards the inside. Speak from alongside. Speak is off stride. Free Marketplace along the inside third. Speak got in the way of Exact Change. Pickup Artist was way out wide and missed the trouble there as they moved to the top of the stretch. Best Guess on the inside, but quickly Doug Snyder wasting no time. He takes Arapahoe Hanover to the top. Best Guess back to second, 3 farther back to Free Marketplace in third, 2.5 Pickup Artist is fourth, passing the stands and the opening quarter in 28 4/5. In front of the grandstand for the first time, it's Arapahoe Hanover on top by 2. Best Guess trying to stick with him in second. Then it's a long gap of 5 to Free Marketplace in third. 2.5 to Pickup Artist, who angles to the outside fourth, forcing Speak out 3 wide. Now he'll try to angle back to the inside as they round the turn on the way to the half-mile pole. Exact Change is next, followed by Darren Wayback Weekend Act. They're at the half. It's Arapahoe Hanover on top in 57 4. 1 to 5 favorite, Arapahoe Hanover. Arapahoe Hanover in his first parimutuel start has the lead by 2 lengths. Best Guess still tracking him in second, followed by Pickup Artist, and Dave Hawk hustles that one off the rail from third. Gap of 5 back to Free Marketplace, same margin to Exact Change. Speak is moving up alongside. Darren's not doing enough, and Weekend Act his way out of it. It's Arapahoe Hanover on top. Arapahoe Hanover, yet to feel any strong challenges, has the lead to 3/4 in 1:27 1. Moving to the top of the stretch, Arapahoe Hanover has the lead by 2. Best Guess reclaims second. Pickup Artist could not sustain his bid. 5 farther back to Free Marketplace, and Best Guess is looking to angle out on Arapahoe Hanover. But Arapahoe Hanover is pacing strong. Arapahoe Hanover gets some urging and opens up by 3. Best Guess could not go with him. Pickup Artist is third. It's Arapahoe Hanover taking the second division of the Tompkins Gears in 1:56 4. Arapahoe Hanover, new lifetime mark, 1:56 4. This is a 2-year-old son of Western Hanover out of the Nero mare Undale Undale. Is owned by Sylvia A. Burke and Ronald J. Burke of Pennsylvania. Mickey Burke Jr., the trainer. Doug Snyder in for the drive aboard Arapahoe Hanover, 1:56 4. This one sponsored by Midland Acres, and again in the winner's circle, helping to congratulate the winner, Dr. John Mossbarger, his wife Kyle Mossbarger, daughter Jill Mossbarger. We thank them for their support of Grand Circuit Racing this week at Scioto Downs. And the 8th race is now official. $3-1 exacta, $7 even. Try 315, $16.60. Trotters are on the track for the 9th. Here's the field. 1 Vaporize, owned by Mulligan Conley Jr., Sprout the 3rd, and Chip Noble. Chip Noble is at the bike. 2 Madden Zeke, owned by Roy McDavis with Kevin Sizer. Number 3 is Motorcraft, owned by Bill Marine and Rosalind Fortin Fisher with Mark Winters. Number 4, our Vinny Lowe, is owned by Burke, Star Jr. and Burke, Doug Snyder. Number 5 is Sierra Crown, owned by James R. Shunk with Dave Hawk. 6, Alicia Hanner's Carpet Griff, Brad Hanners for Truck Gobs. And the 7 is YFT, owned by Dijo Racing Incorporated and Joe Pavia Jr. drives. That's your field, 7 minutes until post time. There they go. They're off and trotting. It's our Vinny Lowe out fast to the lead from the center. Vaporized towards the inside with Matt and Zeke from alongside. Round the far turn the first time. Our Vinny Lowe and Doug Snyder grab the lead. They have it a length and a half. Vaporize is second. Following the outside, Sierra Crown and Dave Hawk. They're up after the lead from third. Next up, it's Matt and Zeke fourth. Alongside is Carpet Griff fifth, and a length and a half back to YFT, and a gap of 5 back to Motorcraft, who trails as they pass the opening quarter. On the inside, our Vinny Lowe, and on the outside, Sierra Crown. Sierra Crown takes over 29 1. Passing the stands for the first time, Sierra Crown and the Hawkster. They've got it 3 parts of a length, but quickly, here's Chip Noble out of the 3-hole with Vaporize, and Vaporize takes over under the wire with 5/8 to go. Sierra Crown back to second. Arvinilo is third by 2. Next up, it's Matt and Zeke, followed by Carpet Grip, YFT into the outer flow, and then a gap of 6 back to Motorcraft, who's not going very well, about 15 off the tempo setter, and the tempo setter is now Vaporize. Vaporize and Chip Noble have opened up by 3 lengths in 58-1. Vaporize leads him down the backstretch. It's now 4. Carpet Grip into second. Sierra Crown back to third. YFT well underway from fourth with about 4 to make up. Next, it's Arvinilo who's been shuffled back. Matt and Zeke is moving up, and Motorcraft continues to bring up the rear. They're starting to come after Vaporize. Vaporize has the lead. Quickly on the outside, YFT takes over. YFT has a nose in front, having trouble going straight there. YFT in 128-2. YFT Carpet Grip in between him. Vaporize back to third. Matt and Zeke underway from fourth. Next is Arvinilo who's off the cones with Sierra Crown. They move to the top of the stretch. On the inside, it's Carpet Grip. On the outside, YFT. YFT has a narrow lead as they turn down the lane. It's YFT under urging, has it 3 parts of a length. Carpet Grip fighting back at the inside, followed by Matt and Zeke. But it's YFT slowly edging away as they hit the wire. Carpet Grip second, Matt and Zeke third. 10th race is official. 7-6 exacta, $42.60. Try 7-6-2, $275 even. Back in the winner's circle, YFT, second straight win for this 9-year-old son of Performance T out of the Superman mare Susan Young, owned by Dijo Racing Incorporated of Palm City, Florida. Lisa Pavia trains Joe Pavia Jr., the driver, 158-1 for the mile. Here's your rundown for the 9th. Vaporize 7th, Matt and Zeke 3rd, Motorcraft 5th, Arvinilo is 4th, Sierra Crown 6th, Carpet Grip 2nd, YFT the Here they are for the 10th. 1 is out. 2 Spring Traffic, owned by Robert Burns with Terry Groves. 3 Scooter Blue Boys, owned by Howard Wallace with Sandy Beatty. Scoring ahead up on the far turn is the 4 Hurricane Season, owned by Russo and Parker, Brad Hanners. Back to number 5, Tannen, owned by Petro and Shepard with Phil Cunningham. 6 is Search for Gold, owned by Boehm, Napoleon Franklin, Jack Franklin. 7 is Adam Quaiton, owned by Herbert Spearman with Dave Hawk. The 8 is Diefenbaker, owned by Thomas Lamb with Randy Tharps. The 9, Life Erickson, is owned by Sanders and Metters, Jamie Dunlap. And the 10 is Ian, scoring off the second tier, owned by Trochnia, Swartz, and Hill. Russ Swartz, the driver. Post times in 7 minutes. The gate, and the gate is rolling for tonight's 10th. Approaching the start for tonight's 10th race. Watch out for the cats. They're off. Hurricane Season is out fast to the lead with Spring Traffic to the inside. Diefenbaker and Tharps are driving up from alongside. Round the far turn the first time, it's Hurricane Season on top. Diefenbaker is actually going to settle into the 2-hole, followed by Spring Traffic 30 in his 4th. Between horses, that's Search for Gold 5th. Life Erickson is 3 Deep Racing in 6th, now settling back. 2 farther back to Scooter Blue Boy, another 2 more to Tannen, and then 2.5 back to Adam Quaiton. They're past the opening quarter in 28 seconds flat. Driving past the stands for the first time, it is Brad Hanners and Hurricane Season. They've got command by a length and a half. Diefenbaker's in the pocket second, outside. That's Search for Gold Racing in 3rd, followed by Spring Traffic at the inside 4th. 2.5 Ian is 5th. Scooter Blue Boy and Sandy Beatty angled to the outside, picking up the cover of Search for Gold. Then it's 2.5 back to Tannen. Another 2 more to Adam Quaiton. And Life Erickson is at the tail end as they round the turn of the half-mile pole. It's Hurricane Season at 9-5, showing the way to the half in 57-4. Hurricane Season now 2 lengths clear from Diefenbaker, who's under a pretty tight hold in second. Search for Gold remains hung out there first over from 3rd. Spring Traffic is locked in 4th. Outside is Scooter Blue Boy, second over 5th. Then to the inside, that's Adam Quaiton racing in 6th. Ian's alongside in 7th. Another length and a half back to Tannen, who's trying to get underway. as they head for the far turn, and being pulled up at the tail end was Leif Erikson, 3/4, 127-2, around to the top of the stretch. On the inside, Hurricane Season, but here comes Diefenbaker and Randy Tharps on the outside, unleashing a very strong bid. 2.5 back, Spring Traffic is off the cones, racing in third. Adam Quaitin is fourth. As they turn down the lane, it is Diefenbaker on the outside, trying to take over command from a game Hurricane Season. Spring Traffic is out for the drive, but not getting any closer. Diefenbaker is going to upset tonight's 10th race. Diefenbaker, Hurricane Season, a very game second. Spring Traffic just held third. Diefenbaker's a 4-year-old bay horse by Nuclear Siren out of the Most Happy Fella mare. Who's Happy? By Thomas J. Lamb of Paulding, Ohio. Randy Tharps in the bike. Second win of the season for Diefenbaker, 157-2. Good for another lifetime mark. Diefenbaker takes the 10th. D.
Third leg of the pick 3. From off the rail, the one is Roman Stoic, owned by Mark Laffin of St. Mary's, Ohio. Trained by Mark Laffin with Dave Hawk aboard. Number 2 is Fourth Quarter, owned and trained by William Carruthers of Kenton, Ohio, with Ron Stack up. Number 3 is Benton, owned by Charles Autry of Cincinnati, Ohio, trained by Leo Groves with Terry Groves up. Number 4 is Dr. Ted, owned and trained by David Stratton of Ottawa, Ohio. Kevin Sizer, the driver. Number 5 is Beret, owned by David Niggemeyer of Mount Sterling, Ohio, trained by Max Mauser with Darren Mauser up. The 6 is Panther Flash, owned by Larry Fullen of Columbus, Ohio, trained by Adam Baroker with Jim Daly at the lines. Don Feaster there. Number 7 is My Boy Scooter, owned by Everett and Fayetta Patrick of Dayton, Ohio, trained by Everett Patrick with Randy Tharps up. The 8 is 417, owned by William Cantrell of Oil Springs, Kentucky, trained by Jimmy Wisman with Jimmy Wisman, the driver. Number 9 is Social Gathering, owned by Michael and Mary Husted of New Weston, Ohio, trained and driven by John Robinson. And number 10 is Rembrandt's Max, owned by Jim Shaliff of Cincinnati, Ohio, trained by Jim Florio. Mike Wilder is in the sulky. That's the field for this evening's 11th. They're all fan pacing, heading for the lead. There goes Dr. Ted, and Dr. Ted in between horses is on the go. From the outside, there goes 417. Right alongside from the inside, that's Roman Stoic. To the inside, racing fourth, dropping in, racing four, got away here. That's Rembrandt's Max, got away nicely there to the 4-hole. Up on the outside, racing 5, that's My Boy Scooter. As they make their move to the opening quarter, on top of the field, that's Dr. Ted, and Dr. Ted continues, fronts the field here by a length and a half. To the inside, Roman Stoic is racing 2. Up on the outside, hung third, that's 417. Down along the inside, racing fourth is Rembrandt's Max. To the inside, racing 5, that's My Boy Scooter. Up on the inside, racing 6th, here is 4th quarter. To the outside, racing 7th is Beret. To the inside, racing 8th, that's Benton. And 9th and trailing the field is Panther Flash as they move past the stand for the first time, heading to the half. On top of the field to the inside, with the lead here, that's Dr. Ted to the outside. 417 is pressuring the pace, racing 2. And along the inside, racing 3rd, Roman Stoic is watching over the dueling leaders as they move by the half and 58 seconds flat. Out of the turn into the backstretch, heading on to 3/4. Dr. Ted leads the field here by a length and a quarter. Roman Stoic is right at his back, racing 2. Swinging out 3 wide to the outside. There goes Beret, and Darren Mauser's got him underway. 4th to the inside, now desperately looking for racing room. That's Rembrandt's Max. Up the inside, racing 5, My Boy Scooter, as they roll into the 3/4 mile mark of the race. On top of the field with the lead, Dr. Ted has had it his way throughout, continues to lead by a length. 3/4, 128 and 2/5. They're midway around the final turn to the inside with the lead, Dr. Ted. Roman Stoic is right to the inside, racing 2, now swinging out 3 wide to the outside. Here comes Rembrandt's Max. Following that cover, that's Benton as they turn to the top of Heartbreak Lane, little less than an eighth of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come to the inside. Dr. Ted up on the outside. Here comes Roman Stoic, is coming to him with every stride down along the inside. My Boy Scooter is shaking loose late at the wire. These 3 horses are going to hit the wire together. Photo for a win in tonight's 11th race. Now moving to the winner's circle, here's your official winner of tonight's 11th race. Number 1, Roman Stoic. 8-year-old bay gelding by Jaguar Spur out of Amabich by Adios Ronnie. Owned and trained by Mark Laffin of St. Mary's, Ohio. Nicely handled here this evening by Dave Hawk. Posting the second win of the 1999 campaign. Home a winner here this evening in 159 flat. Number 1, Roman Stoic and Dave Hawk.